Tyler, do you know how I accepted my job for You Betcha? It was right before a podcast, had to record and everything. Completely threw Miles off. I'm like, hey, you just want to start the camera and we'll just start BSing. And then it had been like 3 weeks since he had offered me the job, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I gotta think about it. And I just dropped the ball on him right before the podcast, and it was fucking electric. So we'll have to look that clip up.
That's on an episode?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it made it on the episode, but it was like a pre-show essentially of the episode. So it was like right before New Year's of 2020.
Okay, I'll go back into the archives and find it.
I'll take a look.
You know how I accepted the job? Miles called me and asked me, or told me that it was offered, and I said yes.
didn't even give you like a pay amount or anything like that.
I was like, yes. He's like, we'd like to offer you. Yes, Miles. I'll take it. I was at my other job.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
Were you at your desk?
No, I saw that it was Miles calling me, so I got up and walked into a hallway. But
okay, how ecstatic were you?
I barely worked the rest of the day.
Oh god,
I didn't do shit.
That would be the best feeling ever.
Yeah, because it was like a job that you hate, you know?
Yeah.
We'll be talking about my job a little bit in the Tiger Doc recap. So,
okay.
I'm going to bring that up a lot.
Interesting.
Because I have some genuine concerns and realizations that were made for me from this document.
From a media perspective, like being in the media industry and how that applies to Tiger Part 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Because Part 2 was more interesting. Part 1 was way better done.
Yeah,
let's just get into it.
Are we rolling?
We are.
Oh, we are.
We're live.
Oh God, Cody's here.
And what episode is this?
16.
They piped that the wrong way.
I'll call the clubhouse. We'll book another 18 for tomorrow.
Okay, they cheated on that. They fluffed their balls.
Yeah, no better time for the breakfast ball than now. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. We're back for episode 16 of the Double Bogey Show, presented by Breakfast Ball. As you know, last week, if you tuned in, we recapped part 1 of the Tiger documentary that is airing on HBO. And yesterday, part 2 came out. So, of course, Tyler and I dove into that. Cody, did you get a chance to watch it?
I did not watch it.
Okay, well,
which I think is good.
Yes,
because I'm hyper analytical of things.
I am.
You're just enjoy watching stuff.
Yep.
And Cody hasn't seen it at all.
If I get to the end of a movie or documentary and I don't know the name of like the sub main characters, it's not surprising at all. I'm like, what's that guy's name again?
So do you know the name of Tiger's caddy?
Is it Mike Williams?
No, it's something.
Stevie Williams, son of a bitch. See, every time, dude. But I know the face, and that's all I need to know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So Cody, you're gonna have to go check it out and take this for what it is. Take it with a grain of salt because we're gonna dive into it, and we'll see what you think when you come back.
Okay.
After you got both parts watched, but Tyler, part 2, you just said before we started, you enjoyed it more than part 1. You thought it was way better done.
No, part 1 was better done, but part 2 was more interesting.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes, but I have a lot of concerns with part 2, and if anyone can answer them for me, then maybe part 2 will be my favorite part, but I don't know.
What kind of questions do you have about
Number 1, you can't do all of this stuff. You can't say all of this stuff and show all of the downfall of Tiger without Tiger's perspective.
Correct.
That is the number 1 rule of reporting, and a documentary is basically long form reporting.
Correct. Yep.
You need to find both sides of the story. They had Tiger's friends, they had people close to Tiger in there, but they didn't have Tiger.
Yeah, and I don't think he would have ever agreed to it.
I don't.
In the first place.
I mean, that's tough. Like, you're obviously going to make money, so you're going to run with this documentary with or without Tiger.
Yep.
But to be considered an actual piece of information, an actual piece of, I mean, it is long form news. You have to have both sides of the story. And it was tough because Tiger's name is obviously run through the mud, and for good reason. He did some pretty shitty stuff.
Yep.
But you need to hear his side of things. You need to hear from people close to him, like not just the friends that he hasn't spoken to in 20 years.
So when you say like you need both sides of the story, I think if you trust the listener, and if people are logical enough to look at this situation and say, look at how he was brought up when he was younger and the discipline that he was put through and all this kind of stuff. He's very good at compartmentalizing his emotions. And I feel like everything just blew up at one time. And it was just, it was a downward spiral of escalating events that he could just not work his way out of anymore.
Yeah. And like, I think the whole thing with his dad is he idolized his dad and then he became him.
Yeah.
Like his dad was hooking up with girls in the camper at the golf course.
Yep.
And Tiger did the same thing. Like it was just Vegas.
Yep.
That was the only difference. So it was weird. A lot of stuff came out. Like I remember that Tiger was a sex addict.
Yep.
And that he had a whole bunch of affairs, but I did not realize to what degree. And so that was very eye-opening to me. But then you got to take it with a grain of salt because you're not hearing the other sides of the story. So I know obviously he was doing some shady stuff. Like you can't be doing that when you're married.
Correct.
You probably shouldn't be doing it, period. But I want to hear from Tiger. I want to know what he has to say and what if there's any defense at all. Like I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't a defense.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
But I would like to know if there is.
Yeah. One thing that, the fact that part 2 drug his name through the mud so much, like you had touched on, Tyler, was that they only gave a small section of his comeback.
Yes,
at the very end.
My biggest gripe.
And it's like, well, let's leave the viewers with this good, heartfelt, emotional feeling that Tiger wins the Masters in 2019, and he's back to being Tiger, right? But you can't just do that when it's an hour and 45 minute or like an hour and 30 minute part 2. For an hour and 25 minutes, they drug his name through the mud.
Yes.
And then it's boom, comeback.
Yeah. So it starts off with a little bit like the whole Perkins waitress. Like they're hinting at that he's about to fall down.
Yep.
And then they're like, no, he's still winning. Look, he's still winning.
He was crushing, dude.
Boom.
He was winning a lot.
All of this shit comes out.
Yeah.
So then they spent, like you said, a good hour 25 on the bad stuff. And then 20 minutes, just give us a part 3.
Exactly.
Like end it at the height of his downfall. Like end it when he gets arrested on the 5 different medications.
Yep.
And then give us a part 3, an entire hour 15 dedicated to his comeback. Because that's it's more impressive, the comeback, if you have a full episode dedicated to it and people leave knowing more.
Yeah. Well, and also
you can't tell me they didn't have the material.
Oh yeah. I mean, look at
HBO.
Look at the hold off on the documentary for X amount of months. Get the PNC championship.
End it with him and
Charlie.
That's full circle.
Dude, that's
he and his dad start the documentary.
Yeah.
He and his son end the documentary. And they kind of did that with the hug and their show.
Yep.
They went back and forth from Tiger hugging his dad after his first Masters to Tiger hugging his son after his last Masters win. So they did that a little bit, but like dedicates, because they skipped out on the entire Lindsey Vonn marriage.
She was not mentioned
Not one time.
Not one time.
They skipped out on like all of the majors that he almost won.
Yeah.
They just acted like all of a sudden he came out of nowhere for the Masters, like which he kind of did.
Yep.
But he was still competing at all these other majors. He was like top 10.
What was crazy was the downfall almost happened sooner than it did because of the Esquire did not have like good enough quality photos.
Oh, the National Enquirer.
The National Enquirer,
Yep,
sorry.
yep.
To bust him with the Perkins waitress.
That was another thing that my news brain could not. I've never understood the idea of tabloid and paparazzi style news markets. It blew my mind that they are willing to sell stories for other. I mean, it makes great business sense.
Yeah.
But holy shit, is that unethical?
Oh,
They're like,
yeah.
we're not going to run the story if you put Tiger on the cover of our other magazine.
Yes.
That blew my mind.
And the fact that there was a National Enquirer reporter that had followed them into the parking lot.
He was stalking them.
He
picked up the tampon.
That is,
dude.
that is unbelievable.
What?
Yeah. Okay. So the Tiger was having this affair with a Perkins waitress. And so the National Enquirer sent a reporter to stalk Tiger and followed him and this Perkins waitress into like a parking lot where they had sex in Tiger's car. They drove away. And then you see security camera footage of the reporter getting out of his car and picking up a tampon that the Perkins waitress had left there. So he has proof that she was there in the parking lot.
Oh my
Dude.
gosh.
They were, I mean, they're trying to make money, right? And you make money with headlining some of the biggest names in the sports industry and the celebrity industry, whatever. That is the lowest of lows, I think you can get as like
Absolutely.
a reporter or a company or
Yep.
like
It's zero integrity. But like it's their business, and it makes total
it does
business
make total
sense.
Yes.
But ethically, it's so messed up. And like I don't want to shit on the reporters because they did uncover the unethical nature of Tiger.
Yep.
But at the same time, like they just did it all the wrong way.
Yeah. They definitely could have went about it a different way. You know, I wonder what they got paid out for, you know, Tiger agreeing to go on Men's Fitness and not reporting the story. And then, you know, at that point, if you're Tiger, you got to be shitting your pants, right? So you think you'd take a little layoff of like maybe hooking up with other girls or
No, he was addicted to it, dude.
exactly. Yeah.
He was a pure and book definition of a sex addict.
And of course, it wouldn't be a documentary of one of the greatest of all time without introducing Michael Jordan into the scene.
Our boy
in
Michael
Las Vegas.
did not miss the doc.
Yep. He made his grand appearance as like, this was one guy that Tiger loved hanging out with in Las Vegas, along with Charles Barkley.
Yes.
Which is a weird thing because Michael and Charlie,
they had a weird relationship.
yeah, because they were like fierce enemies on the court.
What did God, in an interview or just like to one of his buddies, Michael Jordan said something about Charles Barkley. He's like, "Are you worried about Charles in the next game? Or why do you play golf with Charles Barkley before your NBA Finals game?" He's like, "I ain't worried about that fat fuck." It's like, Jesus.
And that's probably the relationship they had though.
Yep.
Like they were comfortable talking about each other like that, but yet they were still gonna you know, Dennis Rodman things and fly to Vegas and bottle service and whatever else they were doing.
So one big takeaway, if you can take anything away from this documentary, is if you're married, don't ever go to Vegas.
Correct. Don't ever go to Vegas
Ever.
with two other guys that are at your same pay grade.
Unless you're with your wife.
Correct. Because
Cody, don't go to Vegas.
That's my favorite city in the United States.
But here, you know what's crazy, Tyler, and this is like blows my mind. Whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Well,
And
not
that
really.
That did not stay in Vegas. That came back.
Unless
and
you're being
haunted-
stalked by the National Enquirer.
Yes, exactly. Then that is definitely coming back to Florida and getting put in the news and whatever. I thought that was pretty crazy. But one thing I love doing now is seeing this documentary and then just picturing Tiger now and like he just seems so much happier, right? Him and Charlie were able to golf together earlier this year. They also touched at the end of the documentary, like he is no longer a step on the other guy's throat type of player.
Yeah, he actually bonded with the players, and I think that had a lot to do with him going to a legitimate rehab center, not just his 6-week stint in the sex addict center. He went and legitimately got clean.
Yep.
And turned his life around and was like, so that's almost forgiving, right? Like everyone at this point is like, they've forgiven Tiger. One thing from the documentary that made me question Tiger still, and maybe have changed my perspective on him, is the fact that he cut out all of the people that stood by his side during this debacle and hasn't spoken to them since.
But here's the thing. And what I'll agree with you on, like, he hasn't spoken to them since. He maybe should have like, there's a certain amount of time where you can maybe reach back out and say, hey man, I was wrong. But I think at that point of his life, he wanted to surround him, like those people, they represented a certain time of his life that was really dark. And I think by cutting them out, it kind of just gave him a new, refreshed mind of like, this is my new life. This is post rehab.
Yep.
I'm good to go. And these might have been good people, but at the same time, they represented a very dark time in my life.
See, then that's a good point, which is why I wish they would have had Tiger on there to say that and confirm that, you know, because that is a good point. But like the biggest thing for me was his caddy. His caddy, he was the best man in his caddy's wedding.
Yep.
They were together for almost 20 years at all of these momentous sport events, like sport milestones.
Yep.
And Tiger fucks up. His caddy doesn't fuck up. And then he just cuts him out of his life so his caddy, Tiger was gone. And he's like, hey, can I caddy for Adam Scott? And Tiger right away was like, yeah, dude, that's totally fine. And then like 3 hours before the tournament, he calls me like, if you caddy for him, you're fired.
Oh no.
And then he's like, he's not going to fire me.
And so he just does it anyways?
He caddies for Adam Scott, and then Tiger fires him.
No kidding.
Here's the thing, though.
And hasn't spoken to him since.
After 20 years of being his caddy?
And he was the best man in this guy's wedding.
Why we need Tiger's perspective, though, is who knows? Caddy Williams, Stevie, right?
Mhm.
Okay, forgot his name already.
Yeah, I think it's Stevie or Steve.
We don't know what kind of part he played in this
That's
whole
very
downfall
true.
of Tiger.
Right.
He could have played he could have
We got his perspective, but
Correct.
nobody said anything about him.
Correct. And maybe he said some stuff that, or maybe he left out some stuff
Right.
that he knew would be fine and people would believe him because he knew Tiger wasn't going to be in the documentary.
Mhm.
So it wouldn't have mattered because you weren't going to get another perspective. And then now Stevie Williams is pegged as a liar.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's a mystery that I don't think we'll ever hear the answer to
No.
because Tiger's not going to, he's in such a good place right now. I mean, as we see him.
And like
that,
it's an incredible comeback story.
yes.
He was as down comes, you know?
Well, and something ironic too, Tyler, and we were just going to touch on this a little bit, but the Sony Open in Hawaii,
Yep.
winner of the Sony Open on yesterday, on Sunday,
Yep.
Kevin Na also makes an appearance in the Tiger documentary
Yep.
on Sunday. What are the odds that happens? We
It's-
should have bet the house on Kevin Na, Tyler.
No shit. It was kind of, so yeah, you were mentioned earlier that Tiger, the new Tiger, is filled with camaraderie.
Yeah.
He's like a different attitude on the golf course. And then when Kevin Na was in it, Kevin Na makes like a 5-foot putt and he's reaching for the ball before the ball actually drops into the cup.
Like speed golf.
Is that
essentially.
like a bad juju thing when
No,
you're playing
it's just-
professionally?
It was just funny. The announcers kind of laughed about it. And then the old Tiger would have just been business as usual, just tapped his putt in and walked off the green. Tiger did the same thing to kind of tease
Mock
Kevin
Na,
Na.
yeah.
Okay,
So like
okay.
he made his putt and was running after it and
Yeah.
was reaching into the cup.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah, Kevin Na, he wins the Sony Open, makes an appearance in part 2 of the documentary. I now see Tiger as more of like a teacher than anything. You see
Yes.
him with like John Rahm, Rory McIlroy, Ricky Fowler, DJ even. You see him with all these guys like on the driving range, on
Yep.
the whatever. And these guys are asking Tiger. Like these guys are better than Tiger now.
Mm-hmm.
But at one point they weren't even
Well,
close.
it's the one thing that guy said was that who the fuck was it? He was playing with when he won the Masters in 2019. The guy he was paired with day one grew up watching Tiger.
Isn't that crazy?
Like
That's nuts.
He was like 10 years old when Tiger won his first major.
Yeah.
And so he grew up watching him, wanting to be Tiger, and then he's paired with him at the Masters.
That's full circle.
That's insane.
And then at that Masters tournament when he was tied with Brooks Koepka and the other Italian guy.
It's the Italian guy. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, and
Yep.
Tony Finau.
Yep.
They all went into the water on that par 3 and
Yep.
Tiger sticks it on the green.
Yep.
I'm like, oh God. That talk about just a flood of emotions coming back.
He's
and-
just in their head. He was all buddy the first 3 days, and he's like, "All right, guys, I got to be Tiger now.
Yeah.
like it's
No, I'm
it's
just gonna
fun, but I have to crush you."
Yeah. A lot of stuff in this documentary I knew about, but when they went into detail, I'm like, wow, I didn't know that he came back for the 2017 Masters after however long layoff,
Mm-hmm.
placed like 4th,
Mm-hmm.
and then took another like 5 or 6, 7 month hiatus, whatever it was. Like that
Fused his back.
Yeah. They literally fused his discs together just so he could be a normal human again.
Yeah, but then he's like, "I'll just win another Masters quick."
Yeah. And then he posts that video to Twitter that gets like over 1 million views of his swing coming back.
Mhm.
Jeez.
And I think that was the turning point when people are like, we miss this guy a lot. You know, everyone makes mistakes, and I think that we can learn from him.
The one thing the documentary did well was showing the ruthlessness of fans, where like when he was at the height of his career, they all wanted to see him fall. And then when he fell, they jumped on him with both feet, somebody said in the documentary.
Yep.
And then when he came back, it's the same damn fans that are happy to see him win.
Yep.
Which I'm kind of glad that I wasn't old enough to really understand what was going on during his downfall, so I can say I'm not one of those fans.
Yep.
But it's just insane to see the ruthlessness of the crowds.
Yeah.
And also, fuck the guy at Augusta.
Oh yeah.
It is not your place to scold him.
So Tyler, that brings me to a really good point. That is, I feel like the one thing that scares people away from the game of golf is that guy right there.
Yes, his
Very
type of people.
Stereotypical, like, the high-end country club member who, if you wear your hat backwards on the course, he's going to turn you into the clubhouse and get you kicked off, you know? And
so this was a heckler at Augusta?
No, this was the chairman
of the course.
No kidding.
Yep.
Yeah. So Tiger, it was 2009 was his downfall, the big one.
Yep.
Right? So he played in the 2010 Masters. And before the Masters, he did a press conference where he had, and I thought like his speech was actually pretty good for the first sentence, and it should have ended there.
Yeah.
Where he's like, we know for our golf's champion, Tiger Woods, is in a different place. We hope that today's Masters marks a new beginning for him.
And then he just went and wrecked him after that.
It should have ended right there. And then he went on and scolded him like he was a little child, where it is not his. Tiger is, it's between him, his family, and those women. It is not up to the chairman of Augusta to try and put Tiger in his place.
That guy should be thankful that he has a guy like Tiger that brought the sport to the position it was.
How much money has Tiger Woods made that man?
Absolutely.
I mean, Tiger Woods is making $100 million himself. Think about what he was making Augusta, especially when he would win. You know,
even that tournament alone, every sports fan in the world's eyes were on Augusta because Tiger was there right after his downfall.
Yep.
Everyone was watching that match because he was there.
Yeah. So answer this for me, Tyler. Which documentary do you like better? And I know
Last Dance. Not even close.
You read my mind.
It's because it was a complete documentary. I mean, they did skew it towards Michael a little bit.
Yep.
But they had both sides. Tiger is not a complete documentary.
It's not over yet.
No. I mean, I don't think they'll do another one.
No, they're not going to. But like the story's not over, and they're not going to report on it.
Yeah, they'll never show the other side. And like I said, there could be no other side.
Yeah.
Like they might be spot on, but we don't know that, and that's not good journalism.
That's tough. And you used to be in journalism, Tyler, so you have a very good perspective of how that was all ran about.
Yeah, and I've known, like, I was forced to get the other side of stories every time I did a political story.
Yep.
9 times out of 10, the other side of the story was exactly what you expected it to be.
Yep.
But that 10 time out of that one time out of the 10 is why you have to get both sides.
Correct.
So that was tough for me to watch in that regard. But on the other hand, it is HBO, an entertainment organization like the National Enquirer.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
So it's like, God, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I just had very mixed feelings about it. Part 1 I thought was more entertaining.
Yep.
Because I didn't have my frustrations of being a former journalist in part 2.
Tiger's still the GOAT in my mind.
Oh, yeah.
I respect him even more now than I did before, I think.
Do you think he'll ever win another major? Because he's obviously
How
not.
How old is he?
He's got to
be like 40.
Can you look that up, Cody?
42, 43.
I was going to say early to mid 40s.
I think he'll win another major and then he'll retire.
Yeah, he's obviously not going to beat Jack.
He's 45.
Because he's got to win 4 more, I think, to take the lead. 3 more to tie.
Yeah, he's at 15.
Yep.
So yeah, he'll never get that 19. But do you think
we say that now and then?
Right. I hope I'm wrong.
Hope he does. Yeah, I know.
That would be cool. But I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's going to win one more time. He's going to retire, and then he's just going to I want to say he's going to coach his son, but I honestly don't think he's going to play a huge part in that side of his son because of what his dad did.
I think that it was a good thing for him to fall because now he's going to be a better dad because of it.
Yep.
He is going to realize that all of the things that his dad drove him to do kind of led to his downward spiral.
Yeah.
In a way, like his dad is not solely to blame.
Correct.
But he's going to be like, you can even see it, like his interviews about Charlie. He talked about how like, yeah, we only focus on like 3 things. And that's what I want him to get the fundamentals down. And his dad was preaching like full on golf technicalities at 5 years old and just pounded into his head.
Yep. Rule number 1, hit the ball in the center of the club.
Every time.
Every time. I need to take that advice to heart. It makes complete sense. Why would you not hit the ball in the center of the club? And start there.
Yeah. And then the next one was feel your swing. As soon as the ball comes off your club, he wants Charlie to be able to know how he missed, where he missed, and why he missed.
Yeah.
And that just comes with reps, and it comes with hitting the ball square every time.
Tyler, you know what I love about the sport of golf and why I think I've just gotten into it more over the last couple of years is because we can talk about this stuff and then we can immediately go out and play.
Mm-hmm.
If we talk about football, we're not just going to go out and play.
Well, we're never going to play
tackle
football again.
we can't just go. We can't just go out and I can't pitch to you on the diamond and we can't have like a baseball game. But like you talk about golf and all this kind of shit, we can go out and play.
Right.
I think that's the coolest part about it.
Yeah, and it's something we can play forever.
Exactly.
For the most part.
Unless we have to get our
we
discs
forgot.
fused.
We forgot to talk about the injuries. The man won the U.S. Open on one leg.
Unbelievable.
He broke his leg on day 2 of the
Tore
US.
his ACL, right? He had no ACL.
Tiger
left.
did?
So his ACL was torn because he decided after his dad died that to fill that hole, he was going to go train with the Navy SEALs.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
So he just spent weeks training with the Navy SEALs, and like they were beating the shit out of him because he was doing legit training, tore his ACL, and he's like, I'm going to keep playing on it.
And that they're like, for some reason, these Navy SEALs kept hitting his left leg, and that's the one that tore. It's like, this is Tiger Woods, dude.
Well, like
He's up a little bit, but he wouldn't have wanted that. You know?
SEAL guy that interviews like, hey guys, Tiger wants you to hit him or wants you to shoot him. Just don't shoot him in the hands.
Yeah, because
They're like,
such
but not the left knee.
Yeah, yep. Just hammer his left knee, tear his ACL, and then I'll just go win the U.S. Open.
Yeah, so his ACL was torn, Cody, and he kept playing on it, and it caused fractures in his leg. So he legitimately had two fractures on each side of his bone underneath his knee. And so he played the U.S. Open with a broken leg and won it.
I think we just take a minute and recognize that kind of mindset, discipline. This is a deep segment, Tyler. This is all about discipline and coming back after the downfall. And I really like that side of things, which is why I have more respect for Tiger after the fact. Yeah. Cody, you're gonna have to go watch it.
I'm gonna have to watch it. Sounds electric.
It's only 2 parts. It's like 3 hours in total. Guys, if you haven't had a chance to check out the documentary Tiger on HBO, go check it out. You're gonna whether you're a golf fan or not, you're gonna have to watch it because
it's a great human piece.
Yeah, and you know of Tiger Woods whether you're a fan of golf or not. So go check it out. I had a lot of fun watching it. I am bummed that it's over. And that there's still pieces of the story missing.
Yes.
But I'm going to be watching for Tiger this year. I'm going to be cheering him on probably harder than I ever have.
Right. And especially now that I'm a dad.
Yeah.
It's like you want him to be the best dad possible. And he had to go through all that shit to be that. So, hey, Tiger, you're doing good things, man.
Tiger.
Just don't ever go to Vegas again.
If you're listening, Tiger, we love you.
Love you.
Guys, we're going to take a quick break and we'll come back. And we're going to talk golf movie of the month. And then we're going to talk about...
We're going to tease golf movie of the month. We're not doing it yet.
We're not going to do it yet, but we're going to inform you.
Just a quick reminder.
Quick reminder. This is going to be a good one. Better than Caddyshack, I want to say.
Oh, yeah, it is.
But
I watched 5 minutes of it.
I might be premature. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. There. See ya. So Tyler, before we hop into golf movie of the month, as well as what we as Midwesterners do as golf in the golf off season, you just said that you heard one of the most electric play calls on Kansas City Chiefs 4th and inches from Tony Romo. I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but hit me with it.
Okay, so we are a golf podcast, but we are sport fans. So we're going to talk a little NFL playoffs. Specifically right now, we're going to talk the Browns-Chiefs game. Chiefs in control the entire game. Browns start making a little bit of a comeback. Patty Mahomes goes off for concussion protocol. And Chad Henne.
Henny given Sunday.
Henny given Sunday. Yes. Comes in for the most important 2 snaps of his entire career. He's got 3rd and 14, right? He scrambles for 13.5 yards. So it's 4th and inches. They get this first down. The Browns have one time, or they're out of timeouts now because he scrambled.
Yep.
So if he gets this first down, the game is over. Browns are down by 5, right? Something like that. They go up to the line. Everybody in the entire stadium thinks that they're just doing a hard count to try and get Cleveland to jump off sides.
So and then punt, right?
Yep, because they have timeouts. So then they'll just call timeout and then punt. And the Browns get the ball back with like a minute left. They're sitting there doing the hard count. with 1 second left in the play clock. They actually snap the ball and run a play, and most people would run the ball so the clock keeps moving.
Yeah.
No, they throw a swing pass to the outside and get the 4th and inches, so they convert. Game's over. They win the game. And Tony Romo, he says, can you believe the sack on Andy Reid to call a pass on 4th and inches to go to the AFC Championship? And I could not believe what I had heard, because I thought I just misheard it, right? I listened to it like 3 more times, and that has to be what he said. But it's like a little muffled because the other announcer's talking over him.
Yeah.
But I'm almost positive he says, can you believe the sack on Andy Reid to throw a swing pass on 4th and inches?
That is the type of commentary we need in sports.
Tony Romo is electric.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Oh, yeah.
I love him so much more as an announcer than I did a player.
100%.
He's great. I hope Tony Romo has a long, lustrous career in the sports announcing industry.
Makes a lot of money.
Yes.
Goes to Vegas a lot.
I hope he doesn't go to Vegas.
Yeah. I did not hear that, unfortunately. But, Tyler, you also forgot Henny Given Sunday's interception that he threw in the end zone before that happened. That was a terrible pass.
It was pretty bad. But we're found out today that Chad Henne is a scrambling quarterback.
Unbelievable.
Swing passes and scrambles, and he's into the AFC Championship. But yeah, let's recap. So I want to talk about how I am the least lucky person alive. So if I'm a fan of your team, I am so sorry, because whoever I root for fucking loses
The Vikings.
every single week. Well, the Vikings are a given. I can't do anything to help them or hurt them. They hurt themselves. But it comes to the playoffs. I hate Aaron Rodgers, plain and simple. So I wanted the Rams to win. Aaron and the Packers absolutely decimate the Rams.
Yep.
I love Lamar Jackson, so I wanted to see the Ravens beat the Bills, and I also don't like Stephon Diggs.
You don't?
Well, he was an absolute baby when he left the Vikings.
That's true. Okay.
And
I'll agree with that.
Like, I respect his talent. The dude's a fucking animal.
Yes.
But I wanted him to lose so he couldn't be all cocky about it, and I like Lamar a lot because everyone was all pissy at Lamar for not being able to win playoff games.
Yep.
He won one, and I wanted to see him make a run. The Ravens freaking lose.
Yep.
I wanted to see Drew Brees win a Super Bowl before he retired, because I think he's going to retire.
He is. Yeah.
The Bucs beat the Saints.
He's 100% going to retire.
And who in their right mind that grew up around the same age as us doesn't want to see a good Browns team? It is so insane.
And especially to take the Chiefs down.
Right.
The hottest team in the NFL for the last 2-3 years.
So the Browns lose. So everybody that I want to win loses. So next week I will be cheering for the Packers. And who should I cheer for in the AFC? I'm going to cheer for the Bills so the Chiefs win.
Dude, it's so tough. Browns and Bills are, I feel like you have a hard time not cheering for the Browns or
Browns
the Bills.
lost.
No, I know that.
Yeah.
But just like in this year in the playoffs,
Yeah.
I kind of want the Bills to win.
Yeah, see, I don't really care about the AFC as much.
I don't either, but also, when is the last time the Bills have made a run in the playoffs?
Years.
Yes.
Years.
And I feel like every fan wants to see something like that happen.
Right.
Which is,
that's why I wanted to be Cleveland, to be that team this year.
I know.
And the Bucs too. They haven't done this in forever.
Hey, it's the Tom Brady effect.
Mhm.
Patriots couldn't make the Super Bowl with Bill Belichick, so we find out it's the Tom Brady effect. Also, Antonio Brown is not.
He's old.
He's old and he's just not there.
He's
in the head.
clueless. Yeah.
Dude. He's
this fucking space cadet.
He's tough to watch now. He used to be electric.
Yeah. Well, he was such a loud personality, and that got him nowhere. So he's tried to tone it down, I think.
And it's made him worse.
Not a good player.
Yeah. But when you have Tom Brady, you don't really need to be that knight in shining armor for a team like AB used to be.
Right. Officially though, like obviously I'm not going to cheer for the Packers or for the Bills. I want the Bucs to take it all because I've always been a Tom Brady fan. I was never a Patriots bandwagoner. I was always just a Tom fan.
Yeah. How can you not be?
My friends absolutely castrated me for that take.
Yeah.
But I like to see Brady having success with another team to prove that he is the GOAT quarterback of all time.
Yeah, it's just like being a LeBron fan. Like you might not have been a Cavs fan or a Heat fan or a Lakers fan, but you were a LeBron fan.
Yeah. You like watching the best of all time do anything.
Correct.
Absolutely. How about the Randy Moss, Tom Brady days?
God, dude.
Electric.
Those are bittersweet for me because when I first got into football, Randy was a Viking.
Yeah.
And so I grew up with Randy and Chris Carter being the greatest receiving duo possibly of all time.
Yep.
Which is also a very hot take. But
Ooh, Tyler.
it's
How dare you? You son of a bitch.
it stung me to see him go to the Patriots, but I did like seeing him have success. And like he deserved it because he was never going to get a Super Bowl with the Vikings.
Right.
It was weird seeing him in 81.
Yes, that was
You didn't even
strange.
recognize him on the field. There's no Saturday games this next week, correct?
Nope, they're both on Sunday, right?
That's good, Tyler.
Anyone?
Because do you know what's on Saturday?
What?
We're talking sports now, right?
Uh-huh.
The return.
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
return of Conor McGregor.
Yeah, Ryan's.
We won't even dive into that because that's a full podcast on Conor McGregor's return.
I want to hear your and Cody's takes because Cody's the resident UFC JV guy and you're resident UFC varsity guy.
Are you a JV? Are you a UFC fan, Cody?
No,
No. I've explained this. I want to be into UFC. So
Okay.
like from here on out.
The reason I say that,
I'm
the
into it.
JV varsity comparison, is because you are very knowledgeable in the UFC and Cody isn't, but wants to be. So he's like the JV guy that wants to be on varsity.
Yeah.
And I am just the fan in the stands. Like, do your thing, guys.
I won't go
As long as we're having fun.
I won't go too in depth on it just because I don't want to bore a lot of people. But I feel like it's going to be a second round knockout, Conor McGregor.
Cody, what do you think?
Gosh, I don't know anything about the competition, to be honest. Not one fight I've watched of the other guy, but I love Conor
He just
McGregor.
fought for the belt. His last fight or two, he fought for the belt
And he lost.
and he lost. So
Okay.
he's good.
I love Conor McGregor. I really would like to see Conor win, and I think I want to see like a 30-second knockout. I think
That's
that
what-
would be just
He
amazing.
says under a minute he'll knock him out. Which
Yeah.
as a UFC fighter, you're going to say that for the publicity or whatever. I think they could very well. I mean, they've already done a documentary on Conor McGregor. It's on Netflix. It's really good. It's called The Notorious. But I think they could do one similar to like The Last Dance or the Tiger documentary. Conor kind of had a downfall, and that was when he was fighting Khabib. He had just launched his whiskey company, Proper Whiskey. He was drinking heavily before the Khabib fight, and that's why he was just so angry
Mhm.
and like just taking as many jabs at Khabib and his family and his religion that he could. And he's in a different mindset right now. And I
He's
really
calmed
enjoy
down.
seeing that 100%.
So now he's like calm and dangerous rather than like chaotic dangerous.
Yes.
Right. The pre-fight banter is always fun to see it get a little bit out of hand, but that was like really out of hand.
It was really bad.
Huh.
Yes. So this Saturday, you know where I'll be. I'll be on my couch. Tyler, I'm a big LED light fan too. If you guys haven't listened to You Bet Your Radio, I just put
Ryan loves LED lights.
I just put LED lights on the back of my TV.
No,
downstairs.
I was kidding. I told you to do that when I was joking.
Oh, I did it.
No.
It looks so sweet. And I have it all hooked up to my phone, so I can like change the colors and change the mood and all this kind of shit.
Does it
is-
go with the music? It flashes with
Yep,
the-
I can put it to the music. I can put it to the commentary.
You need to change it so like every time a punch lands, it like turns
Red.
red. Yep.
That'd be sick.
Because if you change it to the music, it's just like every time that noise
Yep.
happens, it goes red.
Yep. And with so they actually had fans at the UFC event this last weekend, which is cool to see. You can hear so much more with either no fans or limited fans. So like shots to the head, to the body is like it's like
You can hear the actual damage.
yes,
That's kind of cool.
kind of cool.
What do you
All
guys
right,
think
so-
of the fake crowd noise that they're pumping in?
Not in
to
the
these
UFC. They're
sporting
not.
events. Not in the UFC, but
No.
just in sporting events in general.
I like it because I feel like it would be so awkwardly silent if they didn't.
For sure.
I don't like when they pump in boos or cheers.
Yeah.
Just give me that ambient crowd noise because without that, it'd be like a weird feeling.
For sure.
Yeah. Except in the UFC, when you can hear the cornerman, the fighters could literally hear John Anik, Daniel Cormier, all those guys commentating. So they would comment on the fight. DC would say what he would do in that situation. Like, I feel like some fighters took that to heart and was like, I'm going to do what he just said because I know it'll work.
Mhm.
Kind of wild.
Just think about being able to hear Tony Romo from the booth in a football game say you have the biggest sack in the NFL.
No, Andy Reid hears that from Tony Romo, and then he pulls a Sam Cassell and just like runs down the sidelines like, I got these big balls, dude.
Andy Reid isn't running anywhere.
No, he's not running. The only place he's running is the In-N-Out to get a double-double animal style. Yeah, I bet he ate a fat cheeseburger after that.
Yeah, without it.
Because that's the most infamous line of Andy Reid is like, what are you going to do to celebrate this win? This was last year, I think. He's like, I'm going to go get a cheeseburger. It might even be a double.
Oh, Andy.
Tyler, enough boring people with our hot takes on the sporting world.
Yeah, our uneducated takes.
Uneducated.
Dustin Poirier is going to win a decision.
Well, I know that that's not true because you have been on a very cold streak of predicting wins.
Well, I'm just saying right now, I want it on record.
Okay, sounds good. I got second round knockout for Connor. We got some big time NFL games coming up. See who goes to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, go Bucks.
Go Bucks. So place your bets now. Tyler.
It's the off season, Ryan.
Yeah. I went to the simulator the other day.
And how did it go?
It did not go well. Tyler, there was a point where I could literally, so you know, like when you kind of just pull your head off the ball early and you shank the ball to the right. There was a stretch of like 6 or 7 shots straight where I did that. I literally could not hit a shot.
So that's when you start doing what I do and you overcompensate left really hard and then you don't fix that swing.
I need to though. It's just in my subconscious. I need to fix the swing, but I was so in my own head. I could not hit the ball straight. Like I'm talking, it would literally almost go in a straight line directly to the right. Like I wouldn't even hit the front swing. It was bad. I obviously figured it out. I'm just like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna quit thinking about my swing. I'm just gonna swing. And as Tiger would say, I'm gonna try and hit the center of the club. And I did that, and I kind of figured it out. But tough go. That's the point of that's the whole point of off season though. Is like if you're not golfing in the simulator, that's shit's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm not golfing in the simulator.
Yeah, you are.
I went twice this year. I would like to keep going, but this off season has been so weird.
We did a video that will come out this week.
It'll come out in a few days.
It'll come out in a few days. We actually took things to the hockey rink, Tyler.
Yeah, well, we're trying to come up with things to do in the off season. So, one, a lot of hockey players play golf.
Yes.
In their off season. So we're golfers that are now playing hockey in our off season.
Great hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, it's going to help for sure. I've just been trying to hit the puck with the center of my stick, you know?
Yep.
No.
Easy enough, right?
Yeah, we're just messing around. We're from the Midwest. We love the ice. So we're both very, very, very below. So we're subpar hockey players.
We are worse at hockey than we are at golf.
Barely, though.
Barely.
We're almost the same at hockey as we are at golf.
Yes. So basically what we're saying is if there's a good 8th grader, they're going to beat us at both golf and hockey.
Yeah. I mean, unless you can check, Tyler. If you can check on.
I would light some kids up.
Oh, yeah.
I would absolutely dummy some children.
Yeah. Not in a way to hurt them, but like.
If they're lipping off.
If they're and I feel like kids these days might get pretty lippy on the
I won't hurt them physically, but I will humiliate them with my gameplay.
Yeah. We'll
go to another level. When there's a kid talking shit, then you become a better athlete for no reason. It's like in Fast and Furious when you press the NOS button.
Yeah.
Kids talking shit are my NOS button.
That increases the intensity.
Yes.
Like when I get dissed on You Bet Your Radio, whether it's Miles or Doodad, the intensity goes through the roof.
Yes.
That is my fuel.
Have you ever played pickup hockey with a random group of people that you don't know?
When I was way younger, to the point where I couldn't really bully people around like on the ice. So I haven't done it since though.
So like I'm obviously not checking kids on the ice, but when I was in college, my roommates and I, there was 5 of us, would go play pond hockey 3 nights a week. And we went to the same rink a lot. So we would play the same group of 8th graders. And God, they were the mouthiest sons of bitches in the world, but they were so much better than us. And we finally got.
Were they?
Yes.
But you're bigger.
But they're better. It doesn't matter how big you are if they can skate around you.
God, I feel like just give them a little space and then go at them at the last second.
Well, you can't check in pond hockey.
No, I know, but just like wrap your stick up in theirs.
It's that they can puck handle without looking at the puck, and I can't. So we beat them finally. We beat them in a game, and we never went back to that rink. We ended
on to the next group of 8th graders.
Yep, it's like
got that one done.
Which group of 14-year-olds wants to get beat next? We're just fully grown men getting crushed by these kids. But no, pond hockey is a great way to stay in golf shape.
Is there a golf shape?
Round.
Drinking beers on the ice is fun too.
Yeah, but you got to find a place that allows it. Most parks don't let you drink.
I suppose. I'm more so used to like just like homemade rinks out on the lake. That's a lot of fun. throwing some beers back and hitting some clap daddies from the center line.
Ryan doesn't hit clap daddies. He only hits muffins. What?
Yeah, muffins.
Muffins. I watched a hockey chirp video on YouTube once.
Really?
And goalies, every time they get a soft wrister shot at them, they go, yeah, a muffin for breakfast today, bud. And that's the only hockey chirp I use.
Try to freaking muff daddy that one by me, dude. Good luck.
Okay,
I gotta touch up on the hockey lingo. We should go through. We should do
a video.
We should do a video
when non-hockey players try to talk hockey.
Yes.
Dangle snipe selly.
Please refer to this episode of the podcast for that answer.
What?
The answer of how do non-hockey
Oh,
players
yes. Gotcha.
talk hockey.
Sorry. I'm not ready. What else do we do in the off season? You got a putting green. That
we did get a putting green. And that is like, so I believe the state requires you to take a 30-minute lunch and 2 15-minute breaks.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Tyler?
Mm-hmm.
We don't really enforce that here. We kind of just, whenever we're sick of looking at the computer or doing whatever we're doing, we'll just hit the putting green.
You just
3-4 putts.
10, 15 usually. 3-4 turns into a lot.
Oh, you have a 15-minute break.
Yep.
If I can hit the putting mat. What's interesting about that is the first day we got that, I was sinking putts left and right. And now the more I do it, the worse I'm getting. Why
Really?
is that? Yes.
I'm the opposite. I started out terrible on that thing.
Yeah.
And now I'm making at least 7 out of 10.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, there is some tweaks. Like we got to iron out that mat because if you hit it on the edge, it brings it back in for
It's
you.
just a funnel into the hole.
Yeah.
Essentially.
So, I mean, there's a little cheating involved, but I have putted more on this putting green that you bought in the last 3 weeks than I did all summer.
So what you're saying is you're improving your golf game.
Yeah, but not changing my swing.
You did say you're making tweaks though.
Yeah. Well, I saw on TikTok some stupid drill that you're supposed to do to make sure your backswing on your putts are correct.
Yeah. How do you do that?
You put 2 balls, just about like a ½ inch on either side of your club face.
Okay.
And your backswing, you can't hit those balls. So it keeps it as straight as possible.
I like that. One thing about, I was just talking putting, Tyler. I was at the simulator last weekend, and I leave my putter here for the putting mat.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have my putter, so my buddy shows up on a different simulator. He has a Scotty Cameron. It's like a $350 putter.
Jesus.
I do not have a $350 putting game.
I know how much yours cost because you left the price tag on it.
Well, yeah, I didn't know if I liked it. I've used it for like 6 months now, and I'm just still not sure if I like it, so I might take it back. I'm kidding.
Okay,
take
so
it back.
the putter in my mind is the club where the price matters the least.
Yes.
Don't you think it's all touch?
There's a lot of weight distribution is a big thing. The Scotty Cameron did feel really good. And I was putting pretty good at the simulator, but that could also attribute to me putting more on the mat.
But couldn't you learn to putt with anything? Okay.
You could putt with a hockey stick. Look at Happy Gilmore.
Yeah. So this summer I have it's a joke. It's supposed to be a decoration for a golf fan, but it is a legitimate stick with another stick.
Oh yeah.
Cut in half the long way that it says redneck putter on it. And it comes with some walnuts.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm not going to putt the walnuts, but we should do a comparison to see if it really matters. Because I think as long as the club face is flat, you can learn to putt with anything.
100%. You could putt with
your cell phone. Just take a stick
putt with
to
your
it.
cell phone. No, Tyler. You take a selfie stick. You put your cell phone on it. And you putt with the selfie stick / iPhone.
Yes. And you record it, and then we post it.
You could also putt with.
You could putt with, what do we have in front of us? We could use a PS4.
You could putt with a water bottle.
You could putt with a water bottle, some sunglasses.
You could putt with a tripod, I think.
Yep, definitely. We could use a mouse for a computer.
Tyler.
A bottle of whiskey?
You could putt with a shop broom.
Easy.
It might not be like the typical putter motion, but it's more of like a push, like a curling. You know how you're throwing it straight out in front of you versus side to side? You could like broom the ball.
Hopefully you're not putting off the fringe.
You could putt with a broom ball stick.
You could putt with so here's what I think we're getting at. With X amount of practice, you could putt with anything.
You could putt
and as long as it's flat.
I would like to see some nice pool cue putt shots.
I've seen a lot of people do that where they grab their putter by the face and then they use it as a pool cue with the handle.
Why do more people not do that?
I think it's a joke. Like you have to lay down on the green.
And if you're golfing early morning, it's probably pretty soaked.
A lot of dew, and then if you're golfing afternoon, there's going to be people like, "What the hell is he doing?"
A lot of do. Yeah, until you sink until you sink a 20-footer, and then they're like, "Okay, I might have to try this." You just see guys all over the golf course just laying on the greens. Like, what is that guy doing? Oh, he's putting. He's putting.
One pool cue in the bag, just sticking way higher.
What do you
than
guys?
The rest of all the clubs.
What do you think about the putters that change things up though? Like those chest putters that are illegal now. But like the chest putters, the super thick grip ones, do they help? Do they change anything?
I do like the fat grip.
My dad's a big fat grip guy.
Okay.
Has one of those. It's literally probably 3 inches in diameter.
Jesus.
It's huge. It's massive. And holding it is like, I think it does prevent your wrists from moving quite a bit because it has to be in one position. Otherwise, if you move it a little bit, it like the club face is so exaggerated moving that direction.
Huh.
So
it's not forgiving.
You
notice it a lot more when your wrists move because the club face moves so much more. So I think that's the reason for it.
We should find the most random things that you could putt with and do a video on that.
Proof that putting isn't hard.
Yes. We might have to do that.
All right.
Because
we got our next video idea for the summer.
You could putt with a 2x4.
Yes.
Easy.
Super easy.
What's another
flat
one?
edge? You could putt with a 1x4.
You could putt with a wooden dowel. With
that would be tough because it's rounded edges.
Pool cue.
I want to see some croquet mallets. I think that would be good.
You could do that.
Dude.
A hockey stick, obviously.
This could be good. This could be really good.
Okay, we'll keep this in our back pocket for when the greens are available.
The green's always available, Tyler. We got the putting mat now. You can literally hit the green whenever you want.
We gotta make the putting mat a little more legit though. We gotta fix those edges.
We'll fix the edges. Yeah, I like that. Different objects you can putt with, and we might just find a hidden gem.
We're gonna change the putting game, one stroke at a time. All right, let's wrap this shit up, Ryan.
All right, guys, thanks again for listening into what episode is it?
16.
16 of the Double Bogey Show. Guys, we're always excited to have you here. If you haven't, again, go watch the Tiger documentary on HBO. You're not going to regret it. Golfer or not, I think you're going to come out with, in my eyes, you'll come out with a little bit more respect for Tiger than you might have
less
before.
Respect for the media.
Correct. That wraps up episode 16. We went into a couple different rabbit holes, Tyler, but it's always fun.
We always do that.
Yep. So as you can tell, not much happening in the off season for us.
Oh yeah. Hold on.
Oh, we forgot to movie of the month, Tyler.
Next week's movie of the month. Make sure you watch Tin Cup before next week.
Full review of Tin Cup coming next week. I'm gonna watch it Sunday night, so it's fresh in my mind because you know I'm not gonna take notes. I might not even know the main character's name.
What's Tin Cup? Which actor is it? It's
Will
not
Smith?
Will. No, that's
Not
Bagger
Will Smith.
Vance.
Bagger
I
Vance.
thought that too.
Nope.
Kevin
Kevin
Costner,
Costner.
the king of sports movies, the
K.
greatest
Cost.
sports actor of all time.
I'm excited for that one. Tin Cup review next week.
I'm gonna
watch it.
I have some tin coffee cups that I
Done. Love you guys.
love you. Hell, that's a breakfast ball.